welcome back to What Are Noobs for General Disturbance. This is a VK3601H. It's a tier 6 German heavy tank. It's located on the north spawn of Serene Coast and it's under the command of marke12. And we've got two replays for you here, yep, one after back to back. In fact, the games were actually held back to back, only a few minutes apart. Game started. Well, the VK3601H was one of the experimental tanks that was in the development of the Tiger. They started with the VK3001H, then they went to the VK3601H, which of course is here, and they tested various things, including the Shadowplay Ralphberg, the interleaved road wheels, which you then saw on the Tiger. And then after that they moved on to the VK4501 before moving on to the Tiger One itself. There was 8 chassis made of this tank, one prototype, but it wasn't put in for mass production. Now it could either have a 75mm gun or 7.5cm or an 88mm. And the 75 was reasonably good on penetration, but the 88 wasn't, but it did have a high alpha. The alpha on this gun is 220 and it'll penetrate through 145mm of armor with standard ammo, and with the premium rounds the APCR goes through 194mm. In fact, it's the same gun you will get on the Tiger One eventually. Now originally VK3601H was supposed to be a 36-ton tank, but it actually ended up being 45 tons in weight, so it was well overweight by the time it was finished. It does have fairly good armor, but to get the best out of it you have to angle at the enemy, and you have to angle in a diamond pattern, not in the standard where you would angle, which is a slight angling just to increase the armor effectiveness. In this one you need to angle quite a lot to get the effectiveness. 100mm of armor at the front on both the turret and the hull, and 80mm on the turret at the sides and rear, 60mm on the hull sides and rear. It hasn't got a very good top speed, 50.5 kilometers an hour, but in actual fact Wargaming thinks that's quite a good top speed. It's a bit pedestrian. Well, I suppose if you consider it against a heavy tank like the TOG, and there is a TOG on the enemy team in this game, then I think you would say, oh well, that's actually quite a good, decent top speed. Well, the enemy doesn't appear to be coming down the peninsula, so it may be that they're attacking this direction. There's a lot of enemy tanks over there, including a VK3601H, one of us, or one of ours, but it's on the enemy team. Okay, we've got an Excalibur over there. Okay, let's see if we can finish this guy off. First shot goes in, gets a low roll for 218. Get another one in. Yep, 247 this time, a high roll, but we've lost the Excalibur. And here's the kill shot. So he's got our first kill. But a T-3485M has appeared, and they are the tanks that was actually devised to kill Tiger Ones. That was the Soviets' answer to the Tiger One. Put an 85mm gun in a huge turret on a T-34 chassis. And the 85mm had enough pen to actually get through. Now this tank does have a fairly good view range, 370 meters. So you can see quite a long distance, but it's very sluggish on the acceleration and does have weak armor at the sides. Okay, we've got Dick and Max trying to come around the other side. Now he really ought to be loading the HE, because Dick Max doesn't really have any armour, doesn't have anything worth speaking of, and the HE rounds will do 270 and penetrate 44mm of armour. Here he comes. Yeah, not a bad shot there. The kill shot actually goes to the VK3001P on our team. And that's the Porsche version that wasn't accepted. Okay, we've got Skoda, thin armour, should be able to take him down. Yep, one shot. And now we've got a T78. Now this is a problem, because he's got a 90mm gun. He gets one round into us. He's pulling back, chaffy hull, takes another round. Unfortunately, we've got a low roll, and we've got a jam turret, but he's fixed it with his repair kit. Puts a round into the T-3485, who's trying to sneak up to find our Arty. He's cornered the AMX-13F3. Can we get a shot in? Oh, he's gone! The kill shot went to the Hummel. Okay, T-78, your time has come. And he misses him. That's unfortunate, but can he get him a second time? It's going to probably take 2 shots to take down that T-78. Arty! Oh dear. 2 hits there. Luckily the M44 didn't get a near miss. He was a little further away, but the FB304 did get an accurate shot, and there's another shot coming in there. Yeah, this is the problem with this position. If you're around the other corner of that rock, it's very difficult for the Arty to hit you, but if you're in this, just sitting on the edge around the corner from it, the Arty can get shots on you. So he's decided to hide in this corner for the moment and wait for the enemy to come round to him. In the meantime, our guys, or the remaining members of our team, have actually gone down to the water side, and there's a Jagdpanzer IV around there as well. Now ideally he needs to come back and help us. Well, he is. It's good news. T-78 comes around this side, and that's the end of him. He did get one round into us, but we got a high roll and he's out the game. Unfortunately, he got a high roll into us as well, so we've only got 1/3 of our health left. Here comes the Jagdpanzer IV. Now the enemy team apparently... Oh, there's a Hellcat. Good shot. 178, that's nice. That's a good kill. That's 4 kills now for Marky. He's having a good game. He's almost been carrying his team, but not on his own, because the Arty's been doing quite a lot as well. Although only the Hummel actually has a kill. Now we just need to know where the enemy is. Oh, that's useful. The FB304 has gone out to do a bit of scouting. He's got a 72km top speed, so he can run around the place and try and find out where everyone is. And that tells us where that Tog is. That big Tog, we don't know where he is. Oh, and he's found the enemy FB304, and he was spotting as well. Or at least he might have been trying to shoot from there. Can we get a shot? There he is. Nice. Another kill. That's 5. He's 1 short of getting a Top Gun now. And that was thanks to the FB304 doing the spotting. Oh, and the enemy Arty's trying to hit our FB304. He's just going to let him run on a little, see if he can find anyone else. Always useful when you've got a fast moving tank that can actually spot the enemy. He's asking for the Jagdpanzer IV to come and help him. There's the Hummel! Okay, can we get a shot on him? Oh, we've lost our Bert! But we do get a big hit into the Hummel. He's gone. The AMX-13F3 finally got him. So he must have splashed him. So it would have been nice for the Arty to get that splash kill. Oh, and the top 2's near our cap area. He managed to sneak up the peninsula. And he's found the Hummel. Our AMX-13F3 is already on the peninsula, but he must have missed the Tog. And despite the fact that the Hummel does get a shotgun into the Tog does kill him. So now it's just a TOG and an M44 against our team of 3. You can see how sluggish this tank is as it moves along. It takes forever to accelerate. Okay, is he just around the corner waiting for us? No. TOG's got a 17-pounder gun, which means he's fairly quick to fire, and it wouldn't take him more than 3 shots to kill us. I think if I remember correctly, his alpha's about 135, so we don't really want to take more than 3 shots. And he's pointing the other way. 1 shot goes in, we can kill him with 2 shots from here. 1 more to get a hit. And we do take a hit, but next one should kill him. He does bounce off us, and we get the kill shot. That's the Top Gun. And he bangs the Jagdpanzer. Well, he actually distracted that TOG very nicely indeed. And luckily the TOG bounced around, or at least his round was stopped by the armour on the front of our vehicle. And you can see how thick that armour is. With those extra tracks there, it really is difficult for the enemy to get through. All we've got to do now is find the enemy M44. Everyone's saying head to the cap area. No idea where he is. He could be anywhere. Oh, no, they've indicated they think he's actually around the other side. He's nearer to the lake. Yep, they're saying he's in the corner. There he is. He's been spotted. And somebody got a big hit into him. And I think it was one of the Artys actually, probably the AMX-13 F3AM. And he's running, and the kill shot goes to the Jagdpanzer. And that ends the game with a victory. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first class tanker for marke12 in the VK3601H. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 8 in that one. Hand of God for surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemy tanks or more, as well as the duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a Viper effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, and he picked up a high caliber in that game for getting the highest damage in the game, as well as the Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills. So well played. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, there you go. The highest damage was 3,111 hit points. Second highest damage in the game went to the T-78 on his own team with 1,343. And the third highest damage in the game went to the enemy Hummel with 1,241 hit points. When it came to kills, yep, Marky got that one with 6 kills. The next highest scorers were the VK3001P on his own team, the Hellcat on the enemy team, their M44 and their Cromwell. And when it came to base XP, yeah, he's got that one as well. So he's got the top in all 3 columns again. 830 went to the Hummel, 679 went to the T-78. Marky fired only 18 rounds of 88 ammunition, got 16 direct hits on the enemy and 16 penetrations. Damage of 3,111 hit points, of which 373 were at more than 300 meters. So the most of the damage was actually done at close range. 6 hits received from the enemy, 4 of those were penetrations, 1 non-penetration, and he received 3 hits from the Arty during that game as well. 150 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 1 enemy vehicle was spotted, 9 enemy vehicles were damaged, 6 were killed, 73 hit points of damage assistance. He got 11 defense points because he managed to hit enemy tanks while they were in the cap, and 34,654 credits from the game on a free-to-play account. But after repair, ammunition, respawn, consumables, yes, he did have consumables in this one, so he actually made a loss of 4,252 credits for the game. I suppose you could put that down to the fact that the 88mm rounds are slightly more expensive than the standard rounds. Plus, of course, if you use the premium ones, it can soon rack up the cost. Anyway, he received 1,321 base XP, 6,000 for completing a mission, 7,321 experience points altogether. So let's have a look at the armor profile for the VK3601H. Well, if you look at it, it's actually a bit of a boxy and square-shaped thing. I think it's one of the things that actually got rejected in the end, the fact that the armor was so square. But then the Tiger's armor is square relatively anyway. And in order to make the most of the armor, you need to angle it much like this to look at the enemy. And you can see that you've got armor on the front of 115mm on the lower plate. And it goes up to there 100 there. So it's actually strongest directly in the front, and then you've got the viewport for the driver there, but the slab-sided bit here is 100mm as well. The bit around the mantlet is also 100mm, but the mantlet itself is actually slightly stronger. The side armor, if you look at it angled like that, you can see it's 60mm, but with the angling it goes up to 101. And the same on the turret, goes from 80 to 113. So angling really does help if you over angle. You would never want to angle this much in a standard tank, because you would actually be allowing the enemy to get an easy shot at your weak sides. But it really does work in the VK3601H. So you want to keep that diamond shape towards the enemy to make the best of your armor. If we look at the live model, now you can see that again, anywhere on the main body of the tank, yes, you should be able to pen, but don't go for the lower plate on this thing because it is actually quite strong. And you can see that there's additional armor there in a sort of like rectangular shape on the lower area. The mantlet, again, don't go for it. Too strong to get through. You'll get a bounce off this side. There's a cupola, which is a weak spot. But if somebody's angling this correctly, then it's difficult to get a shot in through the front. But if they're not angling it correctly, look what happens. It's very easy to pen because it's flat and slab-sided. So that's why you have to angle. Angling actually helps you on this one. It helps you a lot. Here's the modules, and on the modules you can see that we've got the driver on the right-hand side with the driver's assistant or machine gunner sitting next to him. They've got the transmission in front of them, but the actual engine is at the rear of the vehicle, sandwiched between two fuel tanks. We've got the gunner directly behind the driver and the tank commander directly behind him. And on the opposite side of the turret, we've got the loader. We can see there's two big ammo racks either side of the tank, directly underneath the turret area. Those are the store where the shells are. And the fuel tanks, well, they're quite high actually, but they are sandwiching the engine as usual, with the transmission going directly up through the tank to the front wheel drive. So if you want to get an ammo rack, you have to shoot in through the sides. If you want to get the crew, well, difficult to get the gunner, but fairly easy to get the commander if you can shoot at the cupola. Difficult to hit the driver's mate, but slightly easier to hit the driver himself. And to get the engine, you're probably better off trying to shoot in through the sides if it's side onto you, or the rear. You notice how he didn't have any difficulty penning the opposite number, the VK3601H, on the enemy team, mainly because with the 88mm rounds and the APCR, it'll just punch straight through the frontal armor. So that's the first game. Let's have a look at the second replay that he sent us. The second replay is on the north spawn of Lakeville. Okay, Marky's going to head off down the valley. He is a heavy tank after all. I know a lot of people say don't go into the valley because obviously if you do go in, A, you're going to be stuck there because you won't be able to get past the centre point, the bottleneck. And B, there's a lot more fighting going on in the town centre. It's really up to you to decide which way you want to go. I know the heavies tend to hold the valley, but the tank destroyers can do the job quite efficiently. And I think medium tanks do tend to like to go into the town And we do actually have one heavy tank that's gone into town. That's an Excelsior. It's a tier 6 game, and oh, he started taking fire straight away from a Chi-Nu. Easily gets that one through the frontal armor, but we're now starting to take hits from enemy Arty. And yes, he's in the spot where you're not supposed to be if there's Arty on the enemy team, because they will hit you if you are right in the center of that valley at the entrance to the bottleneck. It's just so easy for us to do that, so don't sit there if you're in a heavy tank, but if you do, we will hit you. Oh, he's going to target Dickomax. Now he's got 15 degrees of gun depression, so the only way to get shots on him is create artificial gun depression by angling. Well, he blocked the 105mm shot from the Dickomax, gets another one in. It's a high roll. Can he get another shot? Yes! Nice! So he's got his first kill. And more RT rounds coming in. Now he's got a KV-1 to deal with. Oh no, it's not a KV-1, it's a KV-222. More difficult. Okay. Matilda easily takes the round. High roll, 258. With a shot. And the RT's still doing his best to harvest all the hit points from Marky. He needs to get protection, really. He needs to hold this corner here for the moment. Now, if he's got enough teammates with him, then he can make a run straight down into that corner. We know that KV-220's there. The Matilda's backing him up from behind on an SU-85. You can see two of the Arty rounds were very accurate. They went straight for the lower plate. Now, if you remember seeing the arm profile, you can see once he's flat against the enemy that's firing at him, he's easy to pen. When he's angled, he's not so easy to pen. Unfortunately, when he was firing at those tanks, the RT hit him on the flat plate, which made it easy. So he's just decided to stay here for the moment. Okay, now he's got the ability to move. The Chi-Nu's going first. And now he needs the motor. Oh, he's loading the HE for the M44. And he gets a hit, a big one, 270, a high roll. And now he needs the motor, and he needs that AP for the KV-220. You have to hit the viewports area. Can he get another one in? No, he can't. So he'll have to chase the 220 if he wants it. That Chi-Nu actually was a great deal of help. Unfortunately, he didn't last very long, but he did do his job while he was alive. Distracted the enemy so he could get round the corner. Now, can he get a shot at the Matilda? Oh, KV-220. No, we'll have that. He actually got him in the tracks. Go for it this time. Yes! Now, move on up. Take out the Matilda. Oh, there's two of them. Matilda 4 as well. Now he's got the 7.5 centimeter gun. We do take one hit. It's it's a 40mm 2-pounder round. Matilda. Thank you. Okay, Matilda 4. Okay, it's that long reload. Hits the armor, bounces off, angle. He's a one shot, so we only need one round to get in. The problem is there's a Hetzer to our left. Ah, I see, got the kill, but the Hetzer. Oh, we did take a round from the Hetzer, but it was an HE round. Go for the kill. Well, we got one round in for 232. Next round is a kill, and he's out. We've got 4 kills now. P2640 just across the way. Can't get at him. Oh, no, we can. And he's out the game, so that's 5 kills. There's 2 enemies left, an Arty, who's an M44, and the VK3601H. And the M44, if you remember, was very badly damaged. He's gone, and that means just the enemy VK left. There he is, one into his rear. Need another couple of rounds to take him out. He's coming this way. Second round in. Oh, we took a big hit. And the worry now is we're low on hit points. And the third round in. And oh, we took a hit from the VK. But we did survive. And he's gone. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game from marke12 and the VK3601H. Yep, he got the ace tanker this time because he did so much damage on the way. He got a Hand of God, surviving the battle, having received damage from 4 different enemies, a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he did end up with 5 exactly, as well as a duelist for taking down 2 tanks who damaged him, a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills. He ended up with 5, 1 short of getting that top gun. In fact, he was 1 shot short of getting that top gun, and unfortunately the VK fell to somebody else at the last second. He put 3 shells into that guy and survived, but unfortunately just couldn't get the last kill. I thought for a second he was going to die if the VK shot him one more time. He did survive, but unfortunately he didn't get the prey that he was after. He also got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a steel wall for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle and getting the highest block damage in the game, as well as a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that game overall. Very well played. And this battle took directly after the last one, as I mentioned. It was directly afterwards. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, he did get the highest damage in the game with 3,163 hit points this time. The second highest damage was the enemy VK3601H, who was doing his best under the circumstances, but he wasn't playing it correctly. He was playing it more like a TD than like a heavy tank. He should have been in the valley helping that KV220. Instead, what he was doing was actually making it more difficult for the enemy to get the cap area, or for our guys to get the cap area, but he wasn't helping the KV220, and that KV220 could have blocked us coming down the valley for a long time. Anyway, the third highest damage in the game actually went to the Skoda T25 on our own team with 1,451 hit points. When it came to kills, yep, you've got marke12 with 5 kills, so he got the highest number, 1/3 of the enemy team. 3 kills went to the Excelsior, 2 kills went to the Skoda T25. Everyone else either got 1 kill or none. And when it came to base XP, he's got that one again. So he's got the top in all 3 columns again. 1,564 went to Marke, 858 went to the Skoda T25, and the Excelsior managed 500. So Marke was the only one to get over 1,000, and he got a high one at that with 1,564. So very well done indeed. He fired 20 rounds in that game, got 19 direct hits on the enemy and 17 penetrations. 3,163 hit points of damage, of which 270 were at more than 300 meters. So most of the damage again was done at close range. 19 hits received from the enemy on this one, only 7 of which actually penetrated, 7 non-penetrations, and 5 hits by way of splash. In fact, lots of the enemy tanks started firing HE at him because they were finding it difficult to try and get through his armor, and he blocked 850 hit points of damage by armor. 7 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 5 killed, 1,412 hit points of spotting assist. Yes, by being right at the front there and looking over the edge, he could actually spot for the Arty, who were then plonking the rounds over the top, and he was picking up spotting assist off it. On a free-to-play account, he earned 43,134 credits. After repair, ammunition, resupply and consumables, he made a profit this time of 11,847 credits. 1,564 base XP, no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. That battle took just under 6 minutes to run. He did kind of hit that roadblock when he was actually in the centre of the valley, and he did need the help of his teammate to actually unblock that roadblock, the Chi-Nu, who actually valiantly drove straight ahead to distract the enemy and give Marke the opportunity to come around the corner and start shooting at them with heavy rounds, which would then so they'd be distracted by a target. You know, look at the pretty object over there whilst I smash you. And That's exactly what they did, and it was a pity really, because if they'd been a little more clever, they could have actually blocked that valley completely, because all it needed was the VK3601H on one side of the bottleneck at the top of the valley, and then the KV220 on the other, and anybody who came down the front was going to get chopped to pieces. But they didn't play it that way, so that's why Marke ended up with a win. So that's the first two replays. We've got another video coming up after this one, because somebody else has been playing the VK3601H and Marke sent in yet another replay, so we'll do a separate video for that one. But if you enjoyed this video, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And please do remember that every time you watch one of our videos, you're actually contributing to the Red Cross appeal for Ukraine, because all of the proceeds from our videos on our channel actually go in that direction. We've made our most recent donation, so we've now made 4 donations to the Red Cross, and we'll continue to make them whilst this war's on to try and help the refugees. Thanks for watching.